Hi guys, welcome to another episode of our project analysis. Today we will be talking about Lentor
Lentor
Gardens
Gardens
Residences. So let's get right into it. So today our content will be
Oversupply first, then after that rentability, then project information and layout analysis.
Yep. So I think in this area there are actually a lot of projects, right? So I think oversupply is something that a lot of buyers will be concerned about. So we will go more in depth and also go into the oversupply issue that may cause rentability issue as well.
Yes,
so
right.
after that, we will go through just basic project information and layout analysis. So preview date will be from 4th July to 14th July and the booking day will be on 18th July. So if you are interested, you can actually contact us to book a SHOWFLAT viewing and we will be happy to assist you. Okay, next, so oversupply issue in Lentor, right? Your clients got ask you, right?
Yeah, a lot of clients ask me these questions like, oh, how come there's so many projects around that area? So why we can still buy Lentor?
Correct. I think it's a very common concern. And this will be the 7th plot, actually, the 7th project in this area. So let us see whether there is an oversupply issue. Right. Okay, so for Lentor area, right, you can see from this, there are actually a few projects already. The first one will be, of course, Lentor Modern, which is integrated. So Lentor Modern has recently already obtained their TOP. So subsequently, there are more projects like Lentor Central, which was the most recent one. And then we have Lentor Gardens, which is the project that we'll be talking about now. Lentor Mansion, Lentoria, Lentor Hills, and Hillock Green. So when we talk about an area with a lot of supply, I think more importantly is we must see the supply and then we break down to see whether or not there are different traits of each project. And of course, the pricing, all these will play a part as well, the timing of when the project is launched. So today, we will be doing this and then we will be breaking down for you guys. So let's break down the supply, okay? If we look at the projects over here, right, Lentor Modern was the first one with 105 units. But we have broken it down to two different categories. So the two categories, right, would be those that are with the 3-year SSD period and then the projects with the 4-year SSD period. So in case you haven't been following the news, last year, the government actually changed the ruling to 4 years SSD. So in the past, right, you just need to hold for 3 years, then you can sell already. You won't get seller stamp duty. But ever since last year, you need to hold for 4 years before you can sell. If not, you will incur the seller stamp duty. Okay, yes. So we look at the projects over here. We have Lentor Modern, Lentor Hills, Hillock Green, and Lentoria. These are 4 projects that are non-harmonized. And then for Lentor Mansion and Lentor Central, these are the harmonized projects. Of course, for Lentor Gardens and the upcoming plot, which was bidded by GoCoLand, also harmonized. And in case you don't know, there is actually another upcoming plot that has already been awarded already. And that land was bidded by GoCoLand. If you look at this information, you can see over here that Lentor Modern launched in 2022, Lentor Hills and Hillock Green launched in 2023, right? So for Lentor Hill all the way to Lentoria, their TOP is actually in 2027,
yes,
which is next year. So by the time they actually TOP, they can already sell without incurring any SSD. For Lentor Mansion, the TOP date on paper is actually 2028. And for Lentor Central, is also around 2028 to 2029. But for Lentor Central, because it's based on a 3-year SSD period, so by the time they TOP, the owners can already sell as well. So if you look at this, right, we can see that the only competitor with supply that will hit the market is probably the GoCoLand project.
It's the new one.
Because that one we are hearing that they are going to launch sometime maybe Q2 next year. But still from now to Q2, there's actually almost a year. In a way, for buyers of Lentor Gardens, right, you still have a year to actually sell. And usually for TOP projects, the first year after a TOP is the bulk of the influx of the units that is going on sale. Usually owners will want to sell after TOP, right?
Yes.
Then of course there are also some owners who will sell sub-sale, but it depends on whether you already clear your SSD period. So if you break down this way, you can see that the projects before, actually they TOP earlier, they clear the SSD earlier. And the project that is the closest to Lentor Garden is Lentor Central. Lentor Central, they will clear the SSD by 2028. So there will be some units that will be on sale as well, sub-sale units, right? And by the time Lentor Garden actually TOP, it will be in 2029 or 2030 already.
Right.
So there is actually almost 2 years gap because Lentor Gardens will be on a 4-year SSD period. So today, June, you buy, for example. So let's say you buy this year, the earliest you can sell will be 2030.
Yes.
And then for Lentor Central, the earliest they can sell will be 2028. So there is actually a 2 years gap. And of course, not all owners will sell once they clear the SSD. Most will actually wait until TOP also. So if let's say they wait until TOP and let's say Lentor Central TOP in 2029, right? Then it will still be a 1-year gap, which means that there's a 1-year gap for Lentor Central Residences, the owners who want to sell to actually clear the supply before Lentor Gardens units enter the market. Which means for Lentor Gardens, right, the main bulk of the competition will be within the project itself. Because by the time Lentor Gardens owners can sell, most of the previous projects, the owners will have already mostly sold their units already.
So the leftover will be not so much.
Of course, there will be some units that owners still want to sell, but the main bulk will be cleared already. And then the next project that will TOP or be able to sell will be Lentor Central, which will be almost a year later. So for Lentor Gardens, the owners will still have at least a year to try and clear the units. So if we break down the supply into this, then actually it's not that bad. Because I think in every area where there are a lot of projects launching around the same period of time or one after another, definitely there will be supply issue. Like there will be a lot of units, but more importantly is to know who are your competitors, right? Then we can break down and see whether the project is actually safe to buy in or not. If you are someone who wants flexibility to sell and not have to compete with a lot of projects. Next, we will go into the land bid, sale and average price in the Lentor area. So if we look at these, right, these three projects, Lentor Hills, Hillock Green, Lentoria, their land price is quite comparable, about 1,000 to 1,001. And if you look at the sale price, right, Lentor Hill actually started lower. Right. But why do you think that this happened?
So Lentor Hills Residence is the second plot after Lentor Modern is out. So basically, they also trying to test the market.
And another thing is, during 2023, right, what happened was that interest rates went up. And then, of course, government also introduced cooling measures such as the property tax, ABSD for foreigners, all these things. So it actually impacted the market and the whole market sentiment changed. That is why the developer was also very cautious. But if you look at the price that eventually they sold the last unit at, is at 2451, and average price that they achieve is 2116. Then for Hillock Green and Lentoria, the land price is around the same. So for Hillock Green, because it's a smaller project as well, they launched at 1007. But if you look at the average PSF, right, they are actually also comparable to Lentor Hill Residences, and it's even higher actually. So for these three projects, right, the land prices are the same. The average price still increase one after another. Lentoria is averaging 2225. Right, then fast forward to 2024. Lentor Mansion bought the land at 985 PSF PPR. So I think back then, harmonization ruling, developers also are more cautious. And at that point of time, there were still a lot of units available in Hillock Green. Developer is also has to be more cautious. If they launch too high, then they might not achieve the results that they want. But they still launch at a higher PSF as compared to the rest, at 2001. Just that their highest PSF is 2476, and then the average price is 2266. Then for Lentor Central, the land price was 982 PSF PPR. So Lentor Central price ranges from 1914 to 2586. Then they average 2222. Right. So we look at this information. What do you think would be the launch price of Lentor Gardens?
Because I think it will be roughly about Lentor Central prices.
Most people would think this way because logically they would want to launch around this because their land price is actually the cheapest. Right? But the thing is that for Lentor Gardens, developer Kingsford, they know that there is an upcoming plot by GoCo Land that was sold at a much higher land price, almost $300.
Yeah, that's very high.
Then if you are a developer, you are a businessman, you know that there is a form of price protection because the next plot that is coming up, they have to launch higher because of their higher land price. So do we think that they will actually launch low? I think that there's a chance that they might start from an attractive PSF. But the thing that they might do based on their past record is that their PSF range will be bigger, which means that they might start lower, but the highest transacted unit might be on a much higher PSF, may even go up to 2728. Because, right, Lentor Central GLS, this is the GoCo Land plot, their land price is 1,278. So based on this, if we calculate the break-even price and the profit that they want to make, right, they have to average around 2005 to 2006, around there. So even if they average around 2004, for example, the units that they have to sell, the highest would be 2008. And this is cannot run away from you because of the land price. And Lentor Garden is the only project that can enjoy this kind of information in a way. Because the projects beforehand, right, they know that the next plot was bidded around the same price. So do they have the confidence to actually launch high or not? Don't have, right? Because they know that competitors bid the land around the same price as them. But Lentor Garden is different. Lentor Garden currently is the lowest land price. Then they know that the next plot bid the land at very high price. And they know that the price protection is there. So that's why we feel that Lentor Gardens might not launch as low as what you think.
Right.
But because of the GoCo Land plot, there is actually a form of price protection for the owners who buy Lentor Gardens as well. So in order to support this, we will use the developer pricing strategy for Chuan Park, same developer which is also Kingsford. On the same day, you can see over here, right, level 19 actually bought higher price than level 20. This was transacted in 10 November 2024, so on the launch day. The reason why 19 will buy at a higher price is because of the ballot number lah. The buyer who bought level 20 managed to get a ballot number. So they bought earlier in the day. But for 19, they actually bought after the developer has increased price by close to 3%. Same thing for this unit over here, 3-bedroom. Level 19, right, actually bought at close to 2% higher in price. Which means that this developer previous pricing strategy is that they see the demand coming in on the same day.
Then they increase the price.
They will increase the price, right? We feel that for Lentor Gardens, the same thing might happen as well. And if you look at how much Chuan Park has already increased price up till this month, the lower floor, 17th floor for this 3-bedroom unit, they are actually 6% higher than level 18, which was bought on the launch day. So from the launch until today, already increased close to 6% already in price, which means that this developer will do pricing strategy. They will do phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 prices.
Yep.
And if you want, you have to buy early, right? Of course, depending on your ballot number also lah. If you look at this bar over here, you can see that the range is from 2269 all the way to 2793.
Yeah.
Are we seeing something similar at Lentor Garden? Yeah.
It might happen.
It might happen. But for Chuan Park, on the first day, they didn't have any knowledge of how much the next plot of land was going to be bid at. Yet they still have the confidence to do this. So for Lentor Gardens, we feel that they might actually launch on a lower PSF, but the range will be big. And when the range is big, means that they might go up to 2007, 2008 PSF. If they touch 2728, you can buy it at 2001, 2002, for example. It's a very safe price.
Yes.
Even at 2004 to 2005, it's still relatively safe because you know that within your own development, right, there are units that will be transacting at 2008 to help you support your price, support your bank valuation. In the future, when you want to sell a Ponti OP or what, you can use that 2007, 2008 price to set as a benchmark to sell. And that's why we feel that Lentor Gardens, even though there is a lot of supply in this area, but we break down into the supply that will be your main competitors. That is actually just the upcoming plot, right? Because there's always a gap, and the gap between Lentor Central and Lentor Gardens is actually 2 years, right? So it's not that bad. And if you can get a good unit at a safe entry price, we think that it's still actually quite okay. Yeah. So of course, choosing the unit and also the PSF, all this is very important. And next, we will go into the rentability. So the question is, will Lentor Gardens Residences be difficult to rent out? Will there be lower rental yield? First, I think we must determine what is our priority. Is it profit or is it rental yield to fall back on?
Yep.
What I mean by rental yield to fall back on, which means that you buy a property that it has high rental yield, it covers your mortgage, you still have passive income, or at least it can cover your mortgage, right? So let us show you a few examples of the two different types of priorities.
One is the one with profit, another one will be for the rental yield.
If you look at this example, Affinity at Serangoon, 3-bedroom, 904 square feet. Purchase date is around the same in 2021 versus Uptown at Farrer, 3-bedroom also. So purchase price also around the same, 1.4, 1.5. Then they sold around the same time also, right? And if you look at the sale price, Affinity actually sold at 1.8 million, Uptown at Farrer sold at 1.6 million. The profit analyzation for Affinity is 4.75%, whereas for Uptown at Farrer is only at 1.83%. But if you look at the rental yield, Affinity rental yield is at 3.5%, while Uptown at Farrer is at 4.2%. So this is what we meant. Second example, show you Foret at Bukit Timah, bought around the same timing as well. Foret bought 2.168, Ivera bought at 2.256. Then they sold in November and September 2025 respectively also. The profit is 3.86% for Foret, while the profit for Ivera is only at 1.66%. But the rental yield for Foret is only at 2.18%. But the Ivera, the rental yield is at 3%. So we must determine the priority. Is it really profit or rental yield? And if we bring it back to these Lentor Garden Residences, of course, there are a lot of supply over there. I'm not going to sugarcoat things. You will face competition when you want to rent out.
Yeah.
But actually, do we have a rentability issue in Singapore? Honestly, right, when we try to rent out a unit in an area where there are a lot of competing units, right, there is still a healthy volume of inquiries if we price it competitively, right? Even in an area with a lot of projects, as long as the price is competitive, we still will get inquiries, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So the demand for rental units are actually always there for Singapore, and it really depends on the asking price only. If you choose to buy a unit in more central locations, the rental is likely going to be higher because, of course, it's closer to city,
Convenient.
more convenient, closer to offices, all this, right? But at the same time, the unit that you are going to get is going to be smaller.
Yeah, the quantum is higher.
Quantum is higher. So, for example, if you want to spend like 2 million, maybe you can get a 2-bedroom in central location, but you can get a 3-bedroom in Lentor.
Yeah, like in the outskirts, we can get bigger units.
And the thing is that smaller unit, they have higher rental yield, more central location, right?
True.
But when they sell, we also base on the size to sell. So when you sell, let's say 600 square feet, multiplied by the PSF gain, it will always be lesser because of the size than a unit that is 3-bedroom that may be in Lentor, right? So at the end of the day, we have to determine what the priority is. Is it profit or is it high rental yield to fall back on, such as covering your mortgage like what I mentioned earlier and have surplus of passive income from rental?
I think it depends on which part of life you are at. Some of them, they are buying to hold for future, for their kids or whichever. Maybe they will think that they want more rental. But for people who are doing upgrading, if they are buying something bigger in future, then likely they will look for something that is more profit than the rental, right?
Yeah. Honestly, in Lentor area, even the smaller units, there are a lot of buyers who buy for own stay also.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this area is really mostly for own stay.
Yeah.
If you are looking to invest into a property and for a start, I think this will be a good option for you because the quantum is definitely lower than other options in the market, right? Something for you to enter. But if you're looking for something that gives you very good rental yield, I don't think that Lentor Garden is the project that you should be looking at. You should be looking at more central locations with higher rental yield so that you have that to fall back on. And that's all for the oversupply and the rentability. Next, we will go into the project information.
Yes, so project name is Lentor Garden Residence and our developer is Kingsford lah. Basically, this is 99 years and our vacant possession is on 2030. Site area is 20,639 square meter. Total number of units will be 499 and parking lots will be 402. I think quite high because so far I've seen a lot of them are like 50 to 60%.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, not bad for the car park.
And quite near MRT also lah.
Yeah, and they still give such a, so many car
I mean,
parks,
this area is mostly for own stay buyers, right?
That's why,
So I
yes.
think definitely you have to have the car park lots. If not, a lot of own stay buyers surely will not like it.
Yes, and total we have 7 blocks. Ford did a few projects such as our Normanton Park, the Hill at One North, One Marina Garden, and Chon Park, and of course View, Peak, and Kingsford Waterbay. Then here will be the artist impression.
This
I
is
think,
the night sky, quite nice.
yeah, quite nice. And then like kind of an open view. So this is the location. So basically, as Jay mentioned, we already have 7 plots. And this is right at this corner here, Lentor Garden Residence. And we are actually 6-minute walks away to the MRT station. Not very far and not very close, but still quite a good distance.
And there's also a future Hillock Park that will be in the center of all the projects.
Right. Anyway, this area, have you went there before?
Yes, I went there. I went to the SHOWFLAT before.
Yeah, actually there is like all residential lah. Very quiet. Yeah, and then I mean depends on what you really like. That place is really quiet right now. I mean like there's a lot of new condos going up, but I believe when everything is up, right, it will be a very quiet kind of place. If you like quiet place, you can consider this. Okay, next then here we will be our location. As mentioned, we are close to Lentor MRT station.
So this is how it will look like, and certain of units will be facing Hillock Park. Next.
So this is our site plan. If you can see, we have full-fledged facilities.
We have a tennis court over here. There will be 3 units of strata houses also.
Right.
Over here, this 72, 70 and 68.
Yeah, and with this development, we still have 2 barbecue pits.
The entrance will be from here. So go down to basement car park and you have your 402 car park lots.
Yeah, that's very good, right?
Mainly the bigger units are facing the future Hillock Park. Then the orientation will be north over here and then south facing over here.
So this is our elevation chart. You can see we have from 2-bedroom all the way to the terrace, which is the 3 terrace that Jay mentioned earlier. Then for 2-bedroom, the bulk is at 2 and 3 bedrooms, and of course we have our 4 bedrooms.
Yeah, and then 3 shutter houses. So next we go into our layout analysis.
So now we will go to our layout analysis. Here will be our 2-bedroom. So basically 2-bedroom premium plus a home shelter, we have 5 layouts. So let's go through the layout. So basically for this P1, P2, one is facing the another one will be the pool facing. So for this 2, one is the kitchen will be a long kitchen, another one is a tuck-in kitchen.
So for this area, I think that there will be a lot of own-stay buyers.
Yes.
So I think the tuck-in kitchen is important.
Right.
And that's why this P1 is actually eliminated. And then we have this 2-bedroom premium with the study. But this study is actually quite small. So I would say this is more like a storage space.
Yes.
Yeah. And the size is 6, 7, 8, right? And so if we compare it to the other 2-bedroom premium, which is also around the same size.
Yeah,
right?
these 2 are at the pool facing.
We have this home shelter one that is 689. You're paying for 11 square feet more, but you actually get a home shelter and a tuck-in kitchen. That's why our top choice is actually this 2-bedroom with home shelter, which is at stack 13 and 16 facing the future park. Next, we have our 2-bedroom premium.
Total we have about 6 layout. Yeah, so 2-bedroom premium from the first 2-bedroom premium is facing the park. And if you can see that this is like an actual study area already. So this one really you can use as a study area. And then same thing, we have the tuck-in kitchen. I think these two layouts is just quite similar.
Yeah, it's
like
just mirror image. Yeah, but these two will not be our top choice.
So now we will go through our S3 and S4.
Yeah.
So for S3 and S4, they are pool facing. Basically, same thing is a tuck-in kitchen and we have our study area. So we actually shortlist one of the unit here.
But there's another two more, which is also the same size, which is S5 and S6. Very similar. The only difference will be the study area, the shape of the study area, and also where the dining area is at.
Yes.
Our top choice will be this S4 because the study area can be an additional room as well. You can use it for storage. And the thing is that the dining area, they have a space over here for the dining.
For the first two layout, which is our S1 and S2, right? The dining area is actually tucked at the wall.
Yeah.
So basically, it's like quite awkward.
Because you're facing the bathroom over here.
Yeah, so like quite awkward lah. So
Yeah.
basically, that's the reason why we choose our S4.
Yeah. And because of the shape of the study, it's long enough for you to actually put a single bed over here. For this one, it's a bit shorter. So I have some concern whether a single bed will be able to fit into it without eating into this space over here. I think S4 will be our top choice. And next we have our 3-bedroom.
So for our 3-bedroom, let's go through our 3-bedroom compact plus study first. So basically, both of them are facing the pool. For the entire 3 bedrooms, the layout itself is actually quite decent and fashionable. So now let's go through our C1 plus C2 plus S. Basically, both of them are actually having our pool view. So the difference is only that we have one with study, one without. So the dining area actually can go up to 6-seater. I think it's quite decent. And basically, the 3 bedrooms are tucked in the corner, and our bathroom also have windows. We also have our windows in our kitchen area. We actually have our top choice. Our top choice will be the C2 plus S, 936 square feet. And it's a pool facing.
The difference is not very huge because if you count in the difference in size, right, it will cost maybe about 120k if it's at 2000 PSF. So that's why we feel that the study can actually use as a utility or storage,
or
and
even a bedroom.
Yeah, it's important for this area. That's why for our top choice between those two layout is actually the one with the study.
So next we will go through our 3-bedroom premium with study. For this first two layout we have is 969 square feet. One is pool facing, another one is external facing. So basically same thing, the dining and the kitchen area is very functional. So for these two layout, I think the study is still very functional because we can use it as our bedroom or even a storage area. If we are going to compare these two, definitely the P2 plus S will be more functional.
Yeah, because the size is the same, right? But over here, if you want to build a study here, it will block the kitchen. So the study in this area is actually better. Gives you more flexibility.
So let's go through our next two layout, which is our P3 and P4. Yeah, so P3 and P4, this time we have our dry kitchen. Earlier, we do not have any dry kitchen, and this layout we have dry kitchen and yard as well. They are 1001 square feet. One is pool facing, and another one will be our external facing. So the rest are similar. We have our home shelter.
And then for this one, it's actually 3-bed, 3-bath. So there's a WC and a yard. And at 1001 square feet, I think it's functional and I think it's efficient layout and good. And especially for 1001, they actually built a dry kitchen over here. It will be quite popular in the resale market.
Because you actually can put your fridge outwards if you want to have the 2-door fridge. So next two layout with our P5 and P6. This is slightly bigger, 1012 square feet. One is pool facing, another one is like a park pool facing. So basically the difference about these two with the one previously is the walkway. So not much difference. And next we will have our top choice. This is our 3-bedroom premium, which is the P3 plus study. Yeah, the reason why we choose this is because of the walkway area. Yeah, the DB box actually, that area you actually can do more storages if you want. And like we mentioned earlier, you actually can have the 2-door fridge over there.
Yeah. Shift the fridge over here.
Yeah, so you have more storages in the kitchen itself.
And then over here, you can build a shoe cabinet also. Just don't block the door.
And then you have your own privacy.
Yeah, then you have your home shelter over here as well. So everything you need in a 3-bedroom premium. And I think this is the best layout in terms of all the 3-bedroom premium.
Next, we will go through our 4-bedroom. We have two different sizes, which is our 4-bedroom compact. Basically, the size of them is 1184 square feet. And then one is the pool facing and another one will be a park pool facing. Yeah, so basically the difference between these two is where the home shelter is.
So our top choice will be C2 because for 4-bedroom, we still feel that the privacy is needed. And for this layout over here, once you open the door, you can actually see all the way through the living room.
If someone is standing outside, they actually can see entirely like really our living room area.
For 4-bedroom, I think that the privacy is important. That's why C2 is our top choice.
Next, we have our 4-bedroom premium. 4-bedroom premium, I think both of the layout looks the same. So basically, these two layout, the best thing is they have landscape. You can see earlier we do not have any landscape layout. Yeah, so these two are the ones that have landscape layout. This two is our 4-bedroom premium. You can see the size difference is only 10 square feet. So I think we do not have any top choice here. Basically, they are only like 20,000 difference on the foyer area.
Because it's only 10 square feet,
They are actually facing the park.
Yeah. But this one has the landscape living room.
Yes.
Yeah, so it depends on whether you are buying for own stay or if you want to actually sell in the short term. If you are buying for own stay, then of course landscape living is something that I think a lot of owners would like. But because the size difference between this and the 4-bedroom compact, right, is actually 200 over square feet. Quite big difference. So the price gap will be huge also. And in this area, maybe we will choose the compact one because that might be more affordable for the upgraders to actually enter in when you want to sign the resale market. If you like landscape layout and you buy for own stay, then it's okay. Yeah.
And then next will be our Strata Terrace. Strata Terrace, we only have 3 units. Basically, they are 1496 square feet.
Anyway, there's only 3 units. So if you're interested, you can just come down and take a look. So with that, we have come to the end of our project analysis. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us. If you like our content, please subscribe to our channel, share and like our video. And that's all for today.
Thank you.
This is Jay.
This is Sherry.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.